Welcome to Emerge and Empower Podcast TV, a platform where resilience meets transformation. Here, we amplify voices that have faced trials, trauma, and adversity, stories that inspire hope, healing, and empowerment. Every episode brings raw, unfiltered conversations with individuals who have risen from hardship, embracing faith, strength, and purpose. Join us as we break the silence, uplift one another, and emerge stronger together. New episodes air Wednesdays at 6 p.m. English and Saturdays at 6 p.m. with select Saturdays in Creole for our Haitian audience.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome back to Emerge and Empower with your host, Dr. Lynn J. And we are here weekly on Wednesdays with individuals with transformative journeys, transformative things that we've experienced, everyday life, okay? Individuals who were once existing but are now living. They've either turned their test into a testimony or their pain into purpose. My job is to get you on the front row seat of your life. We sit down, we go through what we call talk therapy, mentorship, and whatever it is that you need. If we don't have it, we outsource with other individuals that we partner with, because what we want and my greatest desire is for you to be healed as a whole. Because remember, we are made up of three: mind, body, and spirit. So we need to be healed and in its entirety. So on today, it's no different. We will have a guest that will come on that will take us through her journey. And I like how she keep repeating it. She says, I'm an open book. So she's here and she will be sharing her own transformation. So what you need to do right now is go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. The sharing is the big. Sharing is caring. Isn't that what we teach our children? So share it in your groups. Share the link. Again, if you're watching me on Facebook, we do have YouTube. Go over to YouTube. You'll find me right there right now. Okay? On YouTube, and you can share, you can subscribe. Okay? And of course, once you subscribe, you'll be able to know all of the episodes that will be airing, and you'll be prompted, and you'll be able to stay right here and caught up with us here. Again, this is Dr. Lynn J on Emerge and Empower. Are you emerging this year? Let's come out from all of that. Let's come out from all of the shame, the disgrace, the feeling that people have placed on you. It's time to be free. We cannot spend the rest of our lives carrying weights and weights of others. It's time to be free. It's time to take the burdens off. And best of all, it's time to forgive. And you need to forgive yourself. Forgiveness is not for the perpetrator. Forgiveness is for you. That way you don't have a cloud, you don't have anything hanging over you, and then you can truly live. Live a happy life, not a dark, not one of gloom or doom, but it's time to come out of that. There's so much to live for. Even though the world is the way it is right now, we want you to live. Find your colors. What is your favorite color? Does your life even reflect your favorite color? Me, for example, every time you see me, you're going to see me with something pink. There's going to be pink in there. I love the colors of nature. And when I look back at my journey with pink, each of those times were times that I stood out. I stood out, and that's when God took away shame, embarrassment, bullying. So every time when I was a child and I wore pink, I was empowered. I felt great upon myself. And at the same time, those who were teasing me saw me differently because I was much more confident. So pull out those colors. If you're truly living, you should be wearing your favorite colors. Who cares if your car is pink, your chair is pink, everything is pink? If that what makes you happy, go ahead and do it, because this is for you. I don't know about you, but in the beginning I was living for everyone else. Being the firstborn, for being the wife, being the leader. You're always under somebody's microscope, right? But what about living for you, being happy, doing things that make you happy? Well, this is what happens when you release the hurt, when you are no longer silent by your past. It's time. And you are beautiful. You are wonderfully made. And this is your time to shine. So we'll be bringing our guest on the set shortly. I just want to remind you of Emerge and Empower magazine that we have. This magazine is here where individuals can continue to share their stories of emergence. And we bring this every month. It's a monthly magazine, so we bring it every month. So always log in to Emerge and Empower magazine. That was the final copy for last year, and this is the new copy for this year. All right. And let us welcome Shannon to the set. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Emerge and Empower with Dr. Lindsay. Yay! We're finally here.
That's awesome. It's beautiful listening to you speak, honestly, and just engaging in everything that you just said warmed my heart. So I just wanted to say
Thank
that.
you.
It's very
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, Shannon, we are so happy that you took time out of your busy schedule to come on the set of Emerge and Empower with Dr. Lynn J. and just to be open and to share in transparency because it takes a lot for someone to come forward and say, I have something to share. Even in church or wherever you are, they say, Does anyone have anything to share? And usually people are like,
Yeah.
they're not ready. But I'm
Yeah.
thankful that you took this opportunity and I welcome you once again to Emerge and Empower. So, right now, before we dive into your story, we'd like for you to do a short intro of yourself. Let everyone know who is Shannon.
um, I would say that I'm Shannon Michelle 2.0. I came to a point where I was in a transition, a major chaos transition of
Okay.
a motorcycle accident and layers of a brain trauma, coma for a few months, body in different parts. And when I emerged and I was rebuilding myself,
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop comparing myself to the old me.
Right.
And for me, I came up, also my brain was deleted. Like I woke up empty. Like I didn't know
Wow.
what things were. I didn't know, I couldn't read a book and I ran my own company. I mean, there were some
Mm-hmm.
major adjustments that I was like, what had just happened?
Right.
So I did. I just started to have to find myself again. And I call myself the Shannon Michelle 2.0 post that.
2.0.
Yeah,
That makes
2.0.
sense. I was going to say why 2.0, but you just explained why 2.0. Now, Shannon, as we are going to dive into your story, can you, even before we got to the incident itself, can you recall or share with us who was Shannon before all of this?
Sure. Yes. Shannon, I love both of me. I ran my own company for 25 years, a very successful interior design firm here in Los
Hmm.
Angeles. I have one daughter who had just started college months before my accident. And so I was a single mom and I was in so many good places, let's say, in my
Hmm.
life. And I had a lot of gratitude for what I had built and what I had helped create with my daughter and the firm that I ran and my beautiful
Hmm.
life, even though we were going
Right.
through the midst of the COVID chaos and that changed a lot of things as well. But I'm very proud of everything I achieved
Hmm.
and it guided me to the place where I sit today in a way. And that's why I call myself the 1 and 2 because they're both here. They're still in my heart, but
Hmm.
they're different. I mean, there's some obvious differences, but
Right.
there's some major differences, and I've had to rebuild and relearn. I mean, for an adult running a company, to have to relearn how to read. I mean, it
Right.
has been a windy road.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, indeed. So before the incident, were there any childhood traumas, any previous traumas that end up, just compounding here?
Oh, absolutely. I had a messy childhood. I was raised by two alcoholics. I was abused in different ways.
Hmm.
And I really, as a young adult in my 18, 19, 20s, which pushed me so hard to create what I created, I just wanted a different life. And I did not
Hmm.
want to repeat what I had been shown. And
Right.
so that was again at the core. I was just this, excuse the expression, badass. And I was like, I
Hmm.
was going to do it. I was going to do it better and different. And I wanted to succeed in all kinds of ways, to be able to create and be a part of an amazing life. And that was the 1.0 again. And it's still the 2.0. I mean,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
the trauma that I dealt with as a child, when I look back and when I woke up, I'll give you another example. When I woke up from the coma
Hmm.
and everything was kind of deleted, and even like a best friend would come up in the hospital. I was in the hospital for 3 months.
Okay.
Um, and people would walk up and they'd known me for 20 plus years, and they were good friends. And I would look at them
Right.
and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're familiar. Touch my hand. Yeah, I don't. You look familiar. I don't remember your name." Like
Right.
best friend that I don't remember her name. And
Hmm.
that was again the slightly post part of me
Right.
waking up and re-emerging,
Hmm.
and remembering
Right.
and
Right.
recreating in different ways. Yeah.
Right. So that was your opportunity to create, like you said, the 2.0, the better version of you. Because as you were trying to recall what your previous life was, the things that you like, what was favorite, what was your favorite color, you had to learn all of this, learn how to read. So you had to start all over. But as you had to start all over, I'm sure with time, it all started to connect.
Yes. And it does. It still does. Just giving myself the freedom to not know and not remember and be okay with, I think the best way I can put it is within my recovery from my brain trauma, I had to get comfortable with not having a very good short-term memory, but
Uh-huh.
know at the same time that brilliant mind, it still works. It's
Right.
like I had to find the words again. The word brilliant, like that was not a word I could
Right.
say, I don't even know in the last 2 years, but it's like now connections are there and they're
Hmm.
reconnecting. And as my neurologist said, Shannon, just dig it out. It's still in there. And
Right.
that's what
Right.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. And that re-emerging what I already had
Right.
also, and
Hmm. Hmm.
understanding that I was, even though I was so broken,
Hmm.
um, that I was still okay.
Right.
And
Right.
I would re-find a beautiful me. And I have. I mean, oof, I love me. I love this new me.
Hmm. Hmm. So, how long ago was this injury?
The injury was 4 years ago. I just had
4 years ago.
what I call a rebirth anniversary, because there's parts of me that I have a lot of gratitude. I don't remember the motorcycle accident in my
Okay.
brain. I have been told multiple times, so I can explain what they tell me about
Hmm.
that, but
Hmm.
I don't have any memory of that physically happening to me, which again, so much gratitude. I don't ever want to remember my accident, because when they
Right.
explain,
So, did they have videos? Did anybody have
I'll,
pictures?
I'll tell you. Well, this is so. I rode motorcycles on Sunday, and I rode with the group. I called it my Sunday school. There was like this, mm, there was a freedom within doing it with the people that I rode with. And
Right.
when I
Right.
was I was on my way home from my ride on a Sunday, kind of early evening, and I was coming home early. So I was by myself. I always rode with a pack of people, but I'm like, I have to get home. I'm letting these people into my house because they're dealing they were dealing with medical issues, and they needed to come to LA to do that. And I wanted to make sure I was there to open the door and get them in. And they were going to UCLA, and I was on my way home, and somebody did an illegal U-turn. And from what I've been told, they threw me up in the air, like 30 to 40 feet, crashed back down. And this is where the miracle started too. So I've been told that there was an EMT on the beach, and he ran up and he adjusted and did what he did. And he said, call a helicopter. She won't make it if you don't ship her in. And then there was a gentleman that saw the accident, and he pulled his car around to block all the other cars from going over me, because on Pacific Coast Highway, it's the coast, but it's a freeway. And so he stopped everybody from worsening what had already been pretty severe. And then they drop shipped me. They drop shipped me into UCLA. And then they didn't know if I was going to live because it was so severe. And they kept me in a coma for the first 2 months because the brain trauma was so severe.
You have to allow healing.
And then they did I have all kinds of new, new parts and pieces and scars about putting me back together, and finding a way to do that, because it was layers upon layers of let's keep her alive, and then let's put it back together. And then, then they shipped me home, and I had moments of waking up and not knowing, not even remembering what had happened. Like I would wake up and be like, what? And then I realized at that stage I was in a lot of pain still. And that told me something. And then I just kept relearning, waking up and relearning. Okay, this is the new me. Okay, I got to learn to walk again. They kept me in a wheelchair because of my hips, like new hips, and kept me like, you need to wait this long before you can try to walk, and then rebuild your strength. And there were a lot of layers that had come from my trauma, this trauma. Yeah.
Wow.
But
wow.
But I baby stepped my way through being okay with not knowing, being okay with not walking. I remember wanting to swim again. I'm like, can I swim? Am I going to be able to swim? Or, what the little parts of rebuilding your body and your brain, you don't realize how much you have sitting here today, that can be broken. And you have to be comfortable with being broke. I had to be comfortable with being broken and rebuilding, because that's, I think, someplace where you have to realize you have the strength to wake up and do this day again, or see yourself differently. And there's a lot that you can gain. I mean, there's so much that I've gained, I should say, from this.
Yes. So now that you are in postpartum, because now you were in the hospital for 3 months, you are around people. After you left, did you have to do go into like any rehab, or was it done at home?
Yeah, no, I had a rehab I went into, and bear with me, because sometimes the time frames I have to really think about.
Take your time.
But I was in a rehab. I think it was 4 or 6 weeks here in Santa Monica. And then I remember begging to be home by my birthday. I was a child. It's my birthday, and on May 12th, and I want to be here. I want to be home. Yes. I want to be in my own bed. So yeah, I did. I went through, that was a transition. And then I had to find and I didn't have to find the people who love me that were caring for me and making sure
Yes.
they could do the best they could with helping me.
Mm-hmm.
Nurses 24, because I couldn't get out of bed on my own until I could start
Okay.
walking. So I did that at home for a little while. And then I remember
So
getting
how long before you could walk after the injury?
I'm not even sure on how long, but let's just say it was probably month 4
Okay.
that I could. And I did. I remember, I mean, little moments of, I love hot baths. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
saying to my daughter, okay, I can get myself to the bathroom and I can get myself into the tub. I
Okay.
just need to be able to yell and say, get me up, because I can't pull myself back up to
Yeah.
take a bath,
Mm-hmm.
And so it was those little moments of hope. Like, okay, I can take a bath. Oh my gosh, I don't have to wear a diaper anymore.
Right.
Like
Right.
some,
Wow.
some, some miraculous miracles that surrounded me in my present day as well. But that was definitely the first stages of recovery
Right.
for
Because
me.
in the first stages, of course, would you say that you experienced the postpartum, the post uh, depression?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I remember waking up super scared for a long time, scared that everything had been changed and deleted, and what did I do to others? Like, how could this be? I can't even imagine for my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
especially. But I went through stages where I just wake up and be overwhelmed at what had happened and who
Mm-hmm.
am I? Who am I now? Like,
Right.
I didn't like not being able to walk and wearing a diaper. I think I was 51 by the time at the time of the accident.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that age, it
Yeah.
was overwhelming to sit in a diaper, to have to not be able to walk myself to a bathroom. That was that
Mm-hmm.
part. And then I had to get to a point, and I kept rebuilding and kind of relearning. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to get to a point, because sometimes people don't, with the trauma that
Right.
my body and my brain went through. Not everybody finds joy as much as I have again. But
Right.
I had to let go of the old version of me to wake up and say, okay, what am I going to do today?
Right.
I'm going to learn how to cook again. Let me learn, let me be able to walk my dog, like, and those
Yeah.
things, and allowing those things to bring me joy,
Mm-hmm.
not what I had succeeded, not the, I
Right.
mean, I
It's the
had,
little things. And then at the end of the day, it's always the little things that really matters more than everything else. Because now you're learning how to do a lot of these things that we take advantage of. Being able to get up and walk. Not everyone, when they're in that situation, you wish you could just get up and go. You understand? To have a thought, to be quick, not only on your feet, but quick thinker. All right.
yep,
So you have to go back and do all of this. And these are things we take advantage of. You understand? So, yes, it's the little things that make the biggest difference.
always, in everybody's life. And no
Mm-hmm.
matter, I think what I've learned as well, and which I try to remember and try to re-remember, is
Mm-hmm.
that we all have chaos and trauma. We all get through our days in different ways. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't it doesn't become, when it doesn't become the goal to be anything other than the better you can be today. I mean,
Right.
that to me is the best me. And every day I just try to wake up and be like, this is the best me today.
Yeah.
Today is the best day. And tomorrow, just as you were with the prayer earlier, it's like
Yeah.
gratitude for breathing. I am grateful to walk, talk, breathe, have this
Mm-hmm.
conversation, be in this moment. And I love that I have found a way to be present in my
Right.
life.
Right.
Yeah.
because your life is a miracle, and many, I can say 95% of individuals who went through your particular trauma did not come away from it in totality. Some probably
Mhm.
still not walking or didn't even survive.
Oh, absolutely. All it. There are levels and levels of again how somebody walks and steps through their life with whatever moment to moment. I
Hmm.
keep the word chaos because my life was very chaotic
Hmm.
and very unruly and very cruel
Hmm.
in different ways, and I had to find a way to mm, want to wake up
Navigate.
and enjoy. Yeah, just and understand that different us, that like the different me and the different you that comes to this moment.
Right.
We're amazing women, and we're here to share how amazing your life can be if you just wake up and breathe.
Right. That's
You,
it.
you know, and stay present. That's always my goal as well. Is this level of being present, present, present. Yes, presence,
That's
breath.
it. So also you had to have a village. You had love that came around you to help you get better. But how were you treated? Was there any difference as you went through it? Because I know we're very sensitive when you're in a broken place. You're picking up so much more, even what people are not saying, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Gestures, behaviors, mannerisms, So walk us through a scenario like that.
Oh, there are so many of them. I would say that what I learned in this recovery process is that everybody shows up exactly how they can, and they
Mhm.
bring to the table what they have. And some people, I adore some of my friends that are
Mhm.
now distant friends that used to be daily friends
Mhm.
because they're not super comfortable with this new me for whatever
Yes.
reason.
Hmm.
And and that's them. And
Yes.
and giving the freedom to myself and to my friends and my some of my mostly came with some of my friends. I was always like surprised within the first year or two where I couldn't drive yet, and
Right.
I had a lot of different ways that I could hang out or
Hmm.
come over, and some
Right.
people easily could show up to that and then did, and some people did occasionally, and then some
Hmm.
people just didn't. And that is how that individual is. And
Right.
acceptance of how a person is so important as well, because letting
Right.
people show up exactly who they are and not who you think they are or how you think they should
Exactly.
treat you.
Hmm.
Again, there's freedom in that, yeah. And I had some friends that ebbed and flowed through my life, and I have most of my closest friends are here and have been by my side through all of it. And
As they
they
say,
have
when if you want to
funny.
know your true friends, it's when you've gone through something to see who hangs around, who still shows up. Because some people showed up because you were bubbly, they were drawing from the strength of what you are, and
Yes.
now they were no longer able, you understand, to download, to pull from that. And so they're like, well, I don't need that anymore because she don't have the energy that I need. So they're not drawing from you anymore because that's what it was about. Then you had the connection. It was about your intellect. Okay. You have friends and people around you because of your intellect. Well, once that changed, that's gone too. Then you have those because you probably were social and now you can no longer be. But instead of bringing that to you, they decided to move. And I spoke about this I think 2 Sundays ago, talking about a time and a season. Well, there are people in your life that are just for a moment, all
Mhm.
right, maybe a year or two, maybe for 10, it doesn't seem like the ones who are here for a lifetime are very big. You can actually count them, right? On one hand, those
Yep.
who will be with you through the whole journey of life. Those are the true friends. They saw the tears, they saw the brokenness, and they are cheering you on, okay? They love you in and out of season, all right? Those are the best people. Those are your true, all
Yeah.
right,
The core.
community.
Yeah, absolutely. 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 And, I think even with you saying all of that, there are ebbs and flows of people that had been in your life through a lot, at least for me. And
Mm-hmm.
then that can fade away as well. And you do know
Mm-hmm.
the core, and you're right. Maybe it's on one hand, lucky if it's two, but
Right.
that even in the seasons that I've gone through now and I've gone through previously, there's
Mm-hmm.
some ebbs and flows of people that have been there through a lot previously but aren't here today. And that's
Right.
okay too. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
don't know how long our journey is with everybody. We can
Right.
assume or hope that there are certain people that never fade away. But
Right.
I also know that we only breathe for so long,
Right.
and we're only here um, in this beautiful human body that we can
Mm-hmm.
sit in today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the spiritual part of us is forever. The embodiment of who we are,
Mm-hmm.
including our bodies. But as you were saying again before, our for me, it's my heart, it's my mind, and it's my soul. And
Mm-hmm.
I love all of those. All of those
Yes.
are a part of who we are and what we have to share. Um,
Right.
and how I think it's best to tell people, how is it best for you to find you?
Yeah.
What is today? What allows you to find you today? And don't worry about
Yes.
tomorrow, and don't worry about yesterday. Just right now. Who's the best you?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
habit is empowering.
And that's it. That's how you should wake up each day, being the best version of you. When I look and I've analyzed it, right, if we have to break down the years that we live divided by the hours that we live, down to the minutes that we live, to the seconds that we live, compared to one day for God, right? And then us, it's like, well, in that hour that you live on earth, be the best you in that hour. That's all you can do. And a lot can happen in an hour, right?
Oh yeah,
So a
I'm
lot
a
can
living
happen in
story
an
of
hour. So
that.
yeah, so that's what I look at it. I'm saying, so I've told people who've lived to be like, say they live to be 70 years old. And I said, well, you've probably lived only 45 minutes, right? In this time. So even though it seems so long, like you have 75 years, right? But it really, in time wise,
It's
not the
nothing.
chronos time, right? You haven't really lived. So while you thinking you're all grown and because you are great, well, you haven't really lived. And then you will find someone who maybe 25 have lived so much, have gone through so much in their 25 years of life compared to the person who's lived for 75 years of their life, right?
Mhm.
Many people, the first 20 years of life have gone through so much trauma that there are those who in their 60s cannot even imagine, right? So
Yeah.
when I was talking about friends, some people fall off because they don't know how to be around you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And their life too has changed because
Yes.
as you're changing, there are those who dealt with grief, trauma, loss, you name it. And so as life is lifing, people tend to pull away. And most times, and it's not always intentional. They just don't know
Uh,
how to deal. And they say, you know what? I got my own stuff. I don't want to even take it over to there because that's not the energy that Shannon needs right now. And I can't be that strong friend right now, right? Because I'm
Exactly.
not strong. So that's why we should always give grace and forgiveness because, people are going through, they're fighting battles themselves, right? And they're like, you know
Everybody.
what? I'm carrying too much right now. And I don't think I can pick up this extra. So I would rather back off, stay away. I love from a distance,
Yes.
but I'll protect my peace, right?
Yes.
I'll protect me. And so as you're going
Self-care,
through,
right?
yes,
Self-care. Protect my
it's
peace. I love
very,
that statement. Protect
hmm
my peace. I want to
and
write
that's
that
what you had to
down.
do. In order for you to heal, that's where you had to focus your energy on protecting what's here, waking up today. What can I do today? Can I be able to wiggle my toes? You understand? Can I inch up a
Yes.
little bit? That's your day. That's
Yes.
your focus.
Yeah.
And then as you continue to do that, then you're able to stand. And then from standing, take the step. Right? You can't run yet. So you have to take the steps, moving in strides. And even with the swimming, how
Yeah.
soon after did were you able to swim?
Oh, I think
Much longer?
I think I think within the first year.
Okay.
But I would say because I'm very blessed. I have a pool in my backyard.
Okay.
And I remember, okay, I can sit at the edge. I can stand in this area, and then it's a walking pool. It's not a deep pool, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I can step across it, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I can't wait till I can actually swim across it. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was definitely within the first year, but it was again a goal, like
Nice.
swimming. And I just again a comparison. Shannon Michelle 1.0, scuba diver,
Mm-hmm.
and
Wow.
did some amazing the blue hole. I mean, some amazing dives. And
Wow.
and this is a woman that's sitting there looking out her bedroom window, looking at the pool, going, can't wait to swim again. And then now, so I swim now, and I've snorkeled, and I have a goal. I want to scuba dive
Right.
again. I want it to be
Mm-hmm.
something that I can experience again,
Right.
hopefully. So those are and I'm on year 4. So I have to be patient that some things
Yes.
will ebb and flow, and some things won't. And I have
Right.
to be comfortable with that as well. And
Right.
again, I think it's us finding the patience and the peace
Mm-hmm.
to be okay with today and what
Right.
I might be able to achieve and what I might not as well.
Right.
Because it's that's the hard part, is people getting comfortable with the I may not be able to do that statement.
Yes. Yes, yes. So that definitely is true. And so your daughter, as you mentioned earlier, had just gone off to college. Was she local or did she actually move out of state?
No, I mean, she was San Luis Obispo, so like a 3.5, 4 hour drive from where we
Mm-hmm.
live. So it was distant-ish. And she stayed home with me for, well, not even home, sorry. She stayed at the hospital with me. She's like, was there for weeks and weeks. And then her dad said, your mom would be so mad if you're not in school. Go back.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We don't know. We don't, because again, I was in coma stage, and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, she used to drive down every weekend to come to see me at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And she, she went through a lot of trauma as
Yes.
well. But yeah, so she was a small distance from where we live. And then
Mm-hmm.
also I'm so proud of her. She graduated in July, and gosh, that seems like it was only 6 months ago, but it was a little further. And so she's now a graduate from Cal
That's good.
Poly Fire Science. Now she's an EMT. She's going to be a firefighter sooner than later. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
so proud of her. And she knows that
Right.
if it wasn't for the firemen that saved my life, I mean, there were layers of why my mom is breathing is a job that she is looking forward to doing, which is
Right.
exciting.
So she already knew what she was already headed in that direction before.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes, she was. It wasn't because of my accident. She was already going to fire science. She had already
Mm-hmm.
started that program. I think she has more sensitivity and understanding of what
Right.
some of the layers of firefighting is, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not just putting out a fire, it's saving lives.
Right.
um, it's preventing bad things from happening, and in certain ways. And she again experienced what it felt like to be somebody sitting watching what can
Mm-hmm.
happen, and how to process through helping others in a different way
Yes.
from both sides.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's really commendable, and I'm glad that she's in a profession because she's basically a first responder,
Yes.
and they are usually the ones that are always there at the scene. And we're thankful for anyone that's watching today that's a first responder. We want you to know that we appreciate you. We appreciate your service. Had it not been for you, many would not still be here with us. But it was your quick thinking and your skills that even Shannon can say thank you for.
Mm.
So we are all grateful for our first responders and also the spiritual first responders. Because after we leave them, we got spiritual first
Absolutely.
responders who have to come and get us back together again, psychologically, spiritually, to regain that strength as well. So I want to thank you for being you, for choosing, to be you, no matter what was it that led you into this decision. Some of you, it is because of a loved one that you decided to get into it, or the passion for helping others, because you really have to have the heart to care for others, the nurses, the doctors, and so on and so forth. So we thank you, the pastors, the mentors, right?
Mhm.
The coaches, and, we need
Absolutely.
life without them. Yeah, it wouldn't be
Yeah,
what
I
it
mean,
is.
like layers, again, like doctors and like nurses and PT and OT and all of you.
Right.
Gratitude beyond.
Even the
Yes.
transporter who's moving you from one room to the other,
Oh,
waiting for them to
absolutely.
take you to your appointment. Every detail in life is significant, right?
Yes.
And I've used this many times, and I said, we all need someone. Everyone always say, I don't need nobody. I don't need. Yes, you do. You need someone. We all need somebody,
Each
right? Up
other. We
and
need
up into even our final days, and we're gone and our breath is gone, we still need somebody. Somebody got to dig that
Yes.
hole, if whatever.
We
We need people, so we should
community.
always
Absolutely.
appreciate.
Yes, 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 and yes. I so concur with all of that. And I think that
Yes.
there is such beauty in the way that we all help each other and care for each other, whatever
Right.
version, does.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I had to
That's true.
mention my daughter's name is Grace. And
Wow.
Grace has been, I know, she's been a light in my life. And my grandmother's name was Grace, and she's a perfect example of
Mm-hmm.
the grace of God, the grace of love, the grace of forgiveness, grace of, all the layers that we again
Mm-hmm.
process through in our human bodies, So
Right.
yeah. Um,
Right.
oh,
So
oh, oh,
talk to
also,
us about your. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, my daughter Grace drew the cover of my book, and
Oh,
I love,
beautiful.
she's such,
Come a little
she's such,
closer. Bring it closer.
yeah,
Okay.
she drew
There
that
you go.
cover for me for my
Step
book,
into
and
your
Step into Your Miracle.
miracle.
And yeah, and my daughter, she's obviously a part of my life, and I'm so grateful for everything that she is patient with me with. But I
Hmm.
also love that she's a part of my book. I'm like, my daughter
Yes.
drew that.
That's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. So tell us about your faith now. Let's talk about your faith. Do
Okay.
you feel your faith and your belief was an anchor into your healing?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't know that I even understood or I could put words around the the word faith is almost like too small to wrap around
Hmm.
the beauty in which sits here today, and that I feel like that we are a part of.
Hmm.
Um, I was funny enough, I was raised by an atheist, And when I was becoming the woman that I am and the mother, I wanted to be baptized, and my daughter and I got baptized together on the beach, and that
Wow.
was a part of our journey. And then I would say that I had a season in my life where I was at church every Sunday, and it was a big within the community of the church was big.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized for me, I I still loved that, but I also loved the freedom of the group of and the riding of my motorcycle and being out in the open air and the
Right.
community within that. Um, and I there's this all these levels and layers to the spiritual side of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I am grateful that what I do remember in my accident is I remember being mid-state, and my father figure had passed about 8 months before my accident, and
Wow.
he was there with me, almost pausing me from moving on. And
Wow.
I have such gratitude that I was guided to come back,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember being in this state, which again, putting words around it is really hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I remember wanting to move on and not wanting to come back into the brokenness that I had experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I don't feel like, I know there were so many angels around me, and there was
Mm-hmm.
so much softness and goodness within my mid-state memory, and that I
Mm-hmm.
still carry. It's like that memory is
Mm-hmm.
super clear. Like for me not to remember my accident, but I can
Right.
remember being mid-state, the
Right.
miracle of me. Um, so yeah, so that's a little bit about how I know that we are more than what we sit here
That's
within.
it. We are
And
spiritual beings, and a lot of people don't like to address that. But
yeah,
we are not just what people see on the outside. These are just what defines the physical. But the
yes,
spiritual being that you are, your soul, everything that's in this buildup
the
of this composite, the
mm-hmm,
essence of who we are,
mm-hmm.
well, that is where you find your true person, the place to love, even to love yourself, to love others, to express and to heal, because you definitely need
Oh,
that.
and to heal again, from a point of being a child to an adult, from something like small, like, you know, hurting your finger to breaking your body. Everybody
Hmm.
has to find a place that they can heal, self heal,
Yeah.
and spiritually heal. And again, there's so much strength within all of that if we can see ourselves and feel ourselves here first
Hmm.
and foremost,
Hmm.
is
Right.
empowering as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is broken physically actually is reflective in the spiritual realm as well,
Yes.
because you feel that because you're broken there, it actually also messes with your spirit, messes with everything about you. And here it is, your spirit is trying to push the body and says you can heal, you can do better, but it's using a lot of energy to push and let's do this and let's connect and have hope, that there is a brighter tomorrow. I can swim. I'm just staring at a pool right now, but I will be swimming. That's faith. I will
That
be
is.
swimming, and after I
Yeah.
start swimming in that pool, then
Yes.
I'm gonna get into the sea and I'll start snorkeling, going back to some of the things that you were doing. But you have to believe it. Say
You have,
faith is
yes.
like a mustard seed. You don't need a lot, all right, in order to push for more.
I agree with all of that. It is faith is strength, if you
Mm-hmm.
allow it to lead you and to make sure that you guide yourself in a way that you know, again, from your heart, the direction in which you should be traveling. I think
Mm-hmm.
is a good
It's key.
is a good way to, yeah, yeah. Oh,
It is.
love
It
that.
is. So I really, yeah. So now we've gone through this, we've gone through your healing, and you did mention that you had owned your business. So now let's talk about how that was. What happened? Was it able to continue? Uh where
It,
what
yeah.
happened along the way?
Well, I had again amazing people who surrounded me and were a part of my business. One of the girls, Carol, was one of my employees, my manager for 20 plus years, and they kept it alive for about a year. I had
Okay.
so many projects and there was so much going on that one of the girls that used to work for me came back in and did the design part, finished up some jobs that needed to be done. And it
Mm-hmm.
was a realm of about a year and a half. And then I had to close it. And
Mm-hmm.
that was a struggle because I connected myself too much to my business and I needed to disconnect and say,
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. And I had a handful of employees for, again, 20 plus years, and they had to find a new life. And that part
Mm-hmm.
was hard for me to imagine that
Right.
my life had changed so many people's lives. But yeah, so I closed it. And it was about a year and a half after my accident that it finally completely was closed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this. It was, the name of my business was Inner Living by Shannon Michelle. And I used to have
Okay.
furniture stores. I mean, I did a lot over antique store, which turned into a furniture store, and then a
Okay.
design. And so there was this whole image of myself that came
Mm-hmm.
from the success that I had created, but I had to realize that that was still in me and that was still a part of me. Whether or not I did the work that I was so good at, I could
Right.
still have, and I had to find a way to reconnect and rebuild. And I'll also tell you the small part of what began the process of this new version of me in the world
Mm-hmm.
is because my wrists were broken and I couldn't do a lot, I could speak into my phone. I'd
Okay.
ask a question and I would track my life, like what worked
Okay.
and what didn't, what hurt, what in recovery, how could
Mm-hmm.
I get out of this mess? And that's what one day I remember waking up to this screaming, finish your book, finish your book. And I woke up and I'm learning to read. I'm sorry, I'm learning to read. So I thought that that was what it was. And I called my best friend. And I said, oh, that was wild. I got to tell you, I just woke up and it was finished your book. And she's like, I said, I'm going to learn to read. And she started laughing at me. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what's so funny? She goes, have you looked at your phone, Shannon? And I'm like, yeah, I use it every day. I mean, it's what has helped me survive. And she goes, I
Yeah.
think you need to look at your notes because you have probably 200 or 300 spoken in notes in your phone. And
Right.
there would be something there more than just your recovery, but
Mm-hmm.
your way that you recovered is in there. And so we
Right.
started the conversation about trying to share how I was able to pull myself out of such trauma physically and mentally, and
Mm-hmm.
again how people get lost in that, and sometimes they can't find their way out. And my goal was
Right.
first and foremost to remind myself how to stay present and joyful and helpful. And so the goal with creating the book was for me to be able to remember.
Right.
And then it
Right.
was just, now it's just to help others. And that's my goal is, I volunteer my time once or twice a week at the VA.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, within the realm of helping others is what my existence is today. And I want to help others, and I want to
Yeah.
guide, just like you want to guide people. The same energy that you sitting here today on this podcast,
Yeah.
phenomenal. Like I am so in line with who you are and how I want to kind of push the envelope and open the doors for people. And
Right.
you do too. I get that. Yeah. So
Well, for me, it's because I've come from a place that I've emerged, and I want people to get on the front row seats of their life. That's always been my motto. Get on the front row, be the part of the decision making. Don't be behind the scene, letting others make it. Your past decide, your trauma shouldn't
yes,
decide. Don't get caught up in the victim mentality and moving
exactly.
beyond and being a survivor. So
Yeah.
that's what everything,
Thrive,
that's the mode.
right?
That's it.
It's like
Just keep
it's
going.
like thrive and instead of
That's
survive,
it.
thrive. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And so that's it for me. And if I always say if I could reach one person, I've done it. If every time I go on, one person says I needed this episode today, I've done my job. And it
Yeah.
has opened up the doors to like people like you, Shannon, that I would not have known if I did not build this.
Yeah.
We go
Yeah.
back, I forget the name of the movie with the when they had to he created the baseball field and he said, if you build it,
Oh,
they will come.
yes.
So the
Yes.
whole thing is we can't have it all here in our head. We got to put it out there and it will come. It might take time, but it will come.
Brains,
Here I am in
brains.
my third season,
Yeah.
okay,
That's
of Emerge and Empower, third season with the magazine, okay. I'm building it, right? It hasn't gotten to the $1 million copies. I'm an author. It hasn't gotten to 1,000 copies all in, but it doesn't stop me from writing because guess what? There is someone who need that piece of information, and once they get it, then they have connected with what it is that they need, right? I
yeah.
always say I'm not getting on here. Before it was like I needed to have the right language, the right look, the right this, the machines and all that. I'm building as I go. I'm building as
But
I go.
that's the beauty of life if you let it.
Hmm.
It's like building as you go is the most
That's it.
beautiful life everybody can lead. Like
That's it.
take your time and let it speak through you and to you, and
Hmm.
it will all come. It
That's
always
it.
does. Just open the door, you know?
That's it. So,
Yeah.
did you ever reopen the business, or you decide to do
Yeah.
something else altogether?
No, I had a part of me, the designer in me is still there. I
Mm-hmm.
could successfully do my design work, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I want my focus now to be on others.
All right.
And
So you've turned your pain into purpose.
I have, I have. And that's, that it brings a smile to my face,
That's
you
it.
know?
That's
And
it.
I know that in sharing again,
Mm-hmm.
whatever part of my story helps somebody, that's
Right.
my goal.
That's it. Well,
Yeah.
Shannon, I really want to thank you for coming on Emerge and Empower to share your story. And this is an example I've said to many individuals why we have so many different types of traumas that people encounter from childhood all the way into life incidents, in your case, accident. But again, you live to tell the story, and now you've turned your test into a testimony and your pain into purpose. And that's the beauty of emergence because you're no longer once where you once were 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You couldn't even speak. You was in a coma. You had no idea what's happening, right? And now here it is. You're on Emergent Empower telling your story, why you are a living miracle. Your life is a miracle. And we
I,
shouldn't stay with our mouths closed and not want to share it because it's hope for someone who's
yeah.
in a feel like they're in a hopeless situation. Someone could be right now in the hospital, came across this link right now, wondering, hey, am I going to ever get from here? And they see, Shannon, your story. It might not be today. It might be next month. It might be a year from now. It might be 2 years from now. But guess what? It's on time. And it's
It
speaking
is.
right now to the present situation that there is hope and
Yes.
the future is brighter. So
Yes.
before we close, Shannon, any closing remarks for viewers? Any
Yes.
message would you like to convey?
Um, I mean, I wanted people to know that they can check out my website,
And I'll put the
stepintoyourmiracle.com.
link in the bio for that. Yes.
Yeah. And that, and please reach out if there's any way that I can be of service and of help to others, whether it be a beautiful email, my book, this conversation. I just want people to know that for me, I constantly stay present. And I think
Hmm.
that is my place of comfort. And I
Hmm.
want people to learn how to truly stay present is my goal, because it's not
Hmm.
always easy. You know, we're doing the befores and afters in life, and this is it. This moment right now, this is it. And this has
This is
been
it.
a beautiful day. I mean, look at our conversation. I've enjoyed all of it. There hasn't been a moment where I'm wondering what we're doing. I loved it, and I appreciate our conversation. So thank you.
Yeah, so it's just conversation. That's why I always tell people, don't be afraid to come on Emerging in Power, because we just flowing in conversation, and just move from day to day. Things that you would sit down in your couch and you get into your story with a friend. All right, it's the same thing. It's a comfortable place. We're just having talk, and it's all talk therapy, because when you leave here now, it's like another layer has come off and you can breathe even better. It's like nothing obscured, and you're no longer weighted down, even probably anxiety even to come on, that builds, because people feel like, oh, I'm before the camera,
I don't have
but
any of that. I'm grateful. I
but
really am
trust
just
me, you
like,
won't feel that on the set. You'll be very comfortable and say, oh, I can
oh,
do this.
I don't. I love just being present. I love breathing. I
Yes,
love talking. I love
that's
sharing.
it.
However
That's
that
it.
comes about, you know?
That's
Yeah.
it. So put your book up here once again to the
Oh,
front of the
yes.
camera so everyone can connect. Is this on Amazon?
This is on Amazon. It's also
Okay.
like through other.
Step into your miracle.
It's a published book, so it's, available in all kinds of ways, bookstores, you name it,
Mm-hmm.
but Amazon, yes.
Ebook.
And
Yes.
yes, yes, and I'm working on my audio version of it, and that should
Okay.
be completed soon. Again, it's baby steps, but please buy my book, come on my website,
Yes.
share.
Yes. You should showcase your book in the magazine. We should do like an author
Yes,
spotlight, we should do that. So Shannon, I want to thank you for being a guest on Emerging in Power. And before we close, I would like to just pray over you, pray for your life and your family. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you once again for this opportunity that we had this platform open for individuals to come not only share their story, but the journey to healing that it may continue. Oh, Father, we truly thank you that you have turned Shannon's pain into purpose. She has gone through a lot. There's a lot that probably she's still more gray areas, but as you are unveiling that, she would heal even more in depth, Father God, not superficially, oh God, but as a whole. And as she share her stories and her testimonies, and you increase her platform to speak, may individuals be healed. May they be empowered by this journey. And Father, we thank you for her daughter and her community of helpers that have been around her, that's been pouring into her life, that were there when she could not take care of herself, but you send destiny helpers. And we thank you. There's someone watching today that needs destiny helpers. So we ask that you send destiny helpers their way so they too can heal beautifully. They can be surrounded with the love as well. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Shannon. And
thank
don't be a
you.
stranger. I like to revisit. So it
Yes,
may be a year from now when we reconnect, but let's stay in touch because I love to collaborate.
absolutely,
Let me know when you're doing anything so we can come back together. Thank you so much for
absolutely.
being on Emerging in Power.
Thank you. Bye bye.
I really want to thank Shannon for being on, such a beautiful soul, for sharing. Again, I've said it many times, and I can't say this enough. There are so many variations of trauma. So you can't say, oh, I wasn't that childhood, I didn't deal with childhood trauma, or I didn't deal with grief, I didn't deal with, this or that. But there are so many life altering events that causes people to adjust in life. And once you've adjusted, you have emerged. And so I say to you, don't stay there. Pick up from there. Don't die there. That's not a place to be. Get up and want to live a beautiful life, a life of joy. And again, if you're surrounded with the wrong people, change the company you keep. All right. If you're an eagle, don't hang around with chickens. Duh. It just won't work. They won't understand you. They're going to tell you, you can't, and you can soar. All right. So surround yourself with what you need. People going in the direction that you want to go in, that's who you hang out with. Okay. Because this is for you. Do it for you. Love you for you. All right. Not for someone else. People will never be satisfied. Okay. So be happy with yourself. And it's okay if you don't have it all together. It's okay. Do what you can for you. Now, guard your heart, protect your peace. All right. So I'm going to put this here on the screen. This is from the school, Florida Theological Seminary. All right. Of becoming a chaplain. Put this back here so you can see it. Florida Theological Global Ministries. All right. Florida Theological Chaplaincy Academy. Become a chaplain. They have the classes. All right. Online classes. They're always getting every quarter. And also I have UCLAM, which is the satellite version of Florida Theological, and also Maranatha Christian College. So UCLAM is actually my new birthed school academy, not only for the theology, life coaching, mentorship, business. We offer that here. And Maranatha College, you can go from associate all the way to doctorate. All right, with Maranatha College. So I want you to know that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And we want to thank you for being for being a wonderful guest, wonderful person. Thank you so much for connecting with me here today. Until next time.